Hi, I'm Dr. Sana Hashmi. I'm an Indian citizen and I've earned my MPhil and PhD from an Indian university, Jawaharlal Nehru University, and I've worked on China's foreign policy when I was in India. And before that, I was working with a think tank in India called Center for Air Power Studies. And as a part of my project, I finished a book which was titled as China's Approach Towards Territorial Disputes, Lessons and Prospects. After that, I have also worked with India's Ministry of External Affairs as a consultant for 3 years. And my Taiwan journey began in February 2020. I came as a Ministry of Foreign Affairs fellow, and when I came to Taiwan, I started working on India-Taiwan relations as my primary area of focus. And since then, I have been focusing on India-Taiwan relations and Taiwan foreign policy. I worked as a MOFA fellow for 1 year, and after that, I began to work with the Taiwan-Asia Exchange Foundation, and this is a think tank that focuses on Taiwan's relation with South and Southeast Asian countries. So we usually focus on Taiwan's relation with the new Southern policy countries, and since March 22, I have been affiliated with Taiwan-Asia Exchange Foundation. So I came in February 2020. My initial plan was to be in Taiwan just for a year and go back and continue working in India. But when I came to Taiwan, I realized that there's not much scholarship on my area, that's India and Taiwan. And apart from that, what I realized that Indian strategic community is primarily focused on China. So when we do international relations and when we do Chinese studies, it's primarily China, and Taiwan is not really into focus. And when we are in India, we don't really realize this because, we have a huge border with China. So our primary security focus is on China. But when I came here, I realized that Taiwan is such an important country. There is merit in engaging Taiwan, but of course, we have an Indian office here. There's a lot of cooperation that's going on between India and Taiwan. But lack of awareness among Indians about Taiwan is a problem, and this is a problem that I realized when I started working on Taiwan full time. And so I was supposed to go back to India in December 2020, but after spending some time and working on Taiwan, I realized that an Indian scholar needs to be in Taiwan and needs to work from Taiwan. And I feel that I made more impact when I was working from Taiwan instead of just going back to India and working on Taiwan. So I believe that specifically Indians, they listen to me because I am an Indian who is living and working in Taiwan in a Taiwanese think tank. So that was one of the major reasons why I decided to prolong my stay. And luckily I got introduced to TAEF. I started working with TAEF, and I think that has benefited me and my work on India and Taiwan to a great extent. So this was one of my reasons to be in Taiwan for a longer period. And so I completed 1 year in Taiwan and realized that how important it is for scholarly exchanges to prosper, specifically between the new sovereign policy countries and Taiwan, specifically since Taiwan initiated this new sovereign policy in 2016. So I think I could be, I am a kind of a bridge between Indians and Taiwan, and I also use my social media to make people more aware about Taiwan, specifically Indians, and I felt that I could play a small part in that endeavor. So I work in the field of international relations. So of course, primarily my focus and my interactions are with the people from the field. And I think there's a lot of freedom when I talk to people specifically in this field. So I think there's no kind of constraint when I talk to people about international relations, about China, as I've told you that my primary area is China. So I think this is what has impressed me while talking to the strategic community in Taiwan. But of course, I think I'd be biased because I work in this field. Apart from this, what I've seen is specifically I'm an Indian and I interact with a lot of Indians here. Apart from my field, I would say that I'm really impressed with the cooperation in the field of science and technology. So there are a lot of Indian students who are actually doing PhD or even postdoc in the field of sciences, specifically in Academia Seneca. So I'm very impressed with the depth and intensity of cooperation and the courses in the field of sciences. Gold Card is a new program. I think it just began 2 years back. And I got to know about this program last year, but I didn't apply immediately because first I had ARC and I wasn't really sure about the procedure. I think it's pretty easy when you look at the website, but I was just being lazy and I had ARC. But my visa was expiring, and then Taiwan is a bureaucratic country like India. So all the democracies have very stringent bureaucratic procedures. So I see a lot of gold card holders, they first get gold card and then come to Taiwan, but for them there are a lot of other options, but they come to Taiwan because they get gold card. But I think for me, Taiwan is my work, and being in Taiwan is very important for me because I could either be in Taiwan or in China. Being in China is out of the question because of my views and because of my writings on India and Taiwan, and I think I'm one of the most strongest advocates of India-Taiwan relations. So for me, I think the only option remains, if I have to be out of India, it has to be Taiwan, and it has benefited my work. So as I've just mentioned that my visa was expiring, and then I was like, I have to either go back to India or apply for another visa, come back, or just try to talk to BOCA or see if I could really extend or get another ARC. Or the third option was gold card, and I was getting fed up of applying for ARC again and again. Then I realized that why don't I just go for gold card? And I went for gold card. Then I found the category where I was eligible at, and then I applied for it. I got the gold card, and I'm very relieved that I don't have to worry about visa anymore, and I could really focus on my work and focus on India-Taiwan relations. That has really helped me. I don't really have to worry about going back to India. Now I can just go back to India and visit my family and not think about going back to India without the resident visa. So I think that is an amazing program, and that has really helped me being here. And Taiwan keeps talking about retaining foreign talent, and I think now that I have got gold card, I'm going to stay in Taiwan for at least a year. That's my minimum plan for now, and I think it was only made possible because of the gold card. I think from my personal experience, it definitely offers friendly environment, and I could only speak from my own perspective and from my own field. So I think Taiwan definitely offers friendly environment, and I would say that Taiwan is warm, friendly and hospitable, and Taiwan embraces a lot of people. And this is what I felt from the very first day. I have felt that Taiwan is my home. Taiwan has embraced me, and I feel that by giving gold card and also helping me, and people are very helpful, and how people have helped me till now in my 2 years of Taiwan journey. I think Taiwan is one of the most friendly countries I've ever been to and I've heard about. That's a definitely yes. And from my personal experience, I think coming to Taiwan was one of the best decisions. Of course, from the perspective of my work, as I mentioned several times, that my work is specifically on Taiwan, so that worked for me. But apart from that, living in Taiwan has I think I have evolved as a person, and the supportive community you have here, that has also helped me in being in Taiwan, and this is one of the reasons why I call Taiwan my home. But I feel that we see a lot of students from countries from the West. I see students from different levels. They come here and they study, and then they start working in Taiwan. But I think what is lacking is the number of students from the countries in the region. That's also changing, and if I may just tell you about the number of Indian students that are increasingly coming to Taiwan, it's definitely increasing. But I think there's more that could be done, and lack of awareness is a problem here. But I think institutions like your organizations, like yours, and even the government, they are trying to attract more students from the region. But if I really have to give this answer in one sentence, I would say that Taiwan is an amazing country for studies and for work, and they should really consider coming to Taiwan.